Hey guys, Coach Adam from TeamElitePhysique.com doing a big show review, an Olympia qualification review. If you guys watched the last one, was I right? Was I wrong? It all went down this weekend. Craziest weekend thus far this year. So let's get into it. So the first one over the weekend, the juiciest one, the one that everyone was really watching is, was Romina going to get in, or was Ashlynn going to be a blocker for the Olympia this weekend? Did Romina have enough to come back and get her Olympia shot against Ashlynn that had so much momentum this year, who's won, I think it was 5 total shows this year? Was it going to be enough to stop her from getting into the Olympia? So that question was answered, and it was answered in perfect fashion, to be honest. So Romina got into the Olympia. Romina edged out Ashlynn, taking that first place spot. And let's jump into why on that right now. So looking at the looks of Romina and Ashlynn, so first off, Ashlynn had really good fullness to her physique. She was definitely a little wider in the shoulders than Romina. She's more bubbly, rounder, but her conditioning was a little bit off. This was probably the softest conditioning that she's brought this year. She's 4 weeks out from the Olympia when this show was, so it makes a lot of sense that she wasn't 100% yet, and she was kind of just going from show to show. And on this show, if you're doing a lot of shows, it's not going to be possible to nail it every single time, and I think that's just what happened this show. Obviously the motivation is there. She's 4 weeks out from the Olympia, but you don't want to put everything into a show when you're already qualified for the Olympia. You're kind of just doing it for practice at this point, doing it for momentum, keep yourself in front of the judges, try new things. Maybe she was trying a different carb load. Maybe she was trying new things for the Olympia. But whatever it was, she did bring a softer package this time, and it wasn't enough to beat Romina. Romina brought in her best yet, to be honest. This is her sharpest conditioning. This is her best look. She's full, she's tight, she's not overly muscular. Everything's there. So let's compare both Romina and Ashlynn from the front. And you can see here just the little areas of Ashlynn, just a little softer than normal. A little softer in the legs, a little softer on the core. You can see these little areas of just softness. And, she's fully aware of this. She's very experienced. She's not going to be bringing this to the Olympia 100%. It's just one of those shows. If you're doing a lot of shows, it's going to be hard to be 100% every single time. She's been pushing a lot of the fullness this year. She's probably pushing a lot of the carb reloads. I don't know this for sure. It's just my assumption. To get that overall bubbly, more full look and pushing in the carbs closer to the show. I imagine she probably tried something a little closer to this show in terms of that carb reload, and this time it just didn't go 100% for her. Still, really good showing. Top 2 at any show is a great showing. But Romina really brought it. There was no room for error on this show for Romina. I'm sure Romina was prepared to go against Ashlynn's best, and we're going to have to find out how that goes down at the Olympia when it's actually both of their best. But this one was not Ashlynn's best. Still a great placement. Her shape is there. That's what carried her to second place. She's got awesome shape, really, really round glutes, amazing posing routine. From top to bottom is just great. Romina just really, really brought it. Look at the conditioning here. It's not overly conditioned. It's along the lines of what we're accepting right now in bikini. There's no striations. There's great detail. Everything's there. It's complete. There's good proportions, good roundness. There's really not a whole lot to correct here, and I think that this is the exact package that Romina needs to bring to the Olympia to be top 10 at the Olympia again, because let's not forget, she is a top 10 Olympian. Just last year, she was 8th place, so this was a big deal for her in this show. She had to qualify. This was her last chance to qualify, and it's just crazy to see her confidence and being like, okay, I'll just qualify at the end here. Like, just that confidence, not worrying about it at all. Just be like, yeah, let's see, I'll get in. I'll win this one here. It's just against Ashlynn, which is a crazy concept, right? To be that confident this close to the Olympia. You're seeing a lot of other girls doing every show they can to get in, and then she just does the one at the end just to qualify. So it says a lot about her confidence. Obviously in her physique, it shows. So congrats to you, Romina. Excited to see you at the Olympia again this year. And now we fly over to Hawaii for the Shawn Ray Classic. This show was a very important show for Lana. I don't think there was much more importance to this show besides it being all the eyes were really on Lana at this show, because it had a lot to do with her getting into the Olympia. I think that if she were to get second place at this show, maybe a third place, she'd be able to comfortably go into the Olympia, because she was just barely ahead of Stein going into the weekend, and Stein was going to be competing in Denmark, which was where everything went down. So at this show, exactly was what I thought happened, and I predicted last week. Lucia won. She won with a perfect score at 3 points from 3 judges. So perfect score. Perfect score is all the way down from first all the way down to 5th, which is where Lana ended up. So Lana ended up in 5th place, only getting 1 point. That put her at a big risk to go against Stein. Stein was likely, as I said last week, she was going to be likely the second place finisher at the show in Denmark, and that would have pushed Lana out of the Olympia. So it was really crazy. I'm sure that she had a sleepless night going into the next day. Lana has worked so hard to get to the Olympia, and I think that it's really cool, and it's really a testament to see, someone who wants something and goes after it and isn't handed anything, and it says, I know I'm not going to be handed anything. It's my rookie year. I just want to get to that damn Olympia, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. And it was just so fun, and I think she's an awesome person. I was lucky enough to go with her to dinner with Paul and my wife, and it was just it was awesome to get to know her a little better. And so we're all rooting for her. Me, Kimber, everyone here, we're like rooting for her. Like, I hope she gets in. I hope she gets in. And then she got that 5th place, and I'm like, oh man, that sucks, because there's no way that she's not going to get edged out in points. So Esther has to win now. That's pretty much the only way, because I know Stein's going to get at least 3rd place. And even if Stein were to get 4th place at that show, he would have edged her out. So it was just, Esther had to win that show for her to get to the Olympia. And now we fly over to Denmark, where we had the Throwdown. Okay, so as we talked about earlier, in order for Lana to get into the Olympia, Esther needed to win, and Stein needed to place 5th place or worse, right? So one of those two things happened. So first thing that happens, Stein gets 2nd place. Okay, so with Stein getting 2nd place, in that moment, 2 things happened. Okay, when that was announced and Stein got 2nd place, Lana was out of the Olympia just for a second if Esther didn't get that 1st place, right? So 2 things happened. Moment of heartbeat moment, right? But obviously, she was the last one standing. Esther was to win the show. So congratulations to Stein getting enough points to get into the Olympia. Congratulations to Esther, and thank you to Esther for making this a great day. You don't hear these stories too much where everyone gets in. So it was really awesome. Esther ended up in the Olympia as well. So congratulations to Esther, to Lana, to Stein. Everyone got into the Olympia. So let's go ahead and look at that Olympia points list now, and let's see how many people we have in this year's Olympia. All right, guys, so this is it. This is the finalized list for the Olympia. You can go to ifbbpro.com to see the list yourself. There is 58 girls qualified for the Olympia this year in bikini. Crazy, crazy year. This is going to be the hardest Olympia that there has ever been in bikini. There has never been even close to this many competitors in a single year. And there's never going to be this many competitors again, I think. The reason that it happened this year with so many was there was 14 months for the Olympia of last year, because of the timing of when the Olympia was last year to the timing of when it was this year. There ended up being a little bit more time in between, which ended up having a few more girls qualified. So total of 58 women were qualified for the Olympia. So thanks very much for the Olympia quality control team this year that kept the numbers somewhat down, because it could have been a lot different. If you take Ashley Kotwasser, Jourdain, Ashlynn, and Ivana, and you just said, okay, you girls only get 1 win each, that right there would have been 24 more girls in the Olympia. So here's the final list. Here's the final qualified, which is really cool. So Romina got in, as we talked about. Esther got in, but she was already going to get in with points already. Jody was in, but she was already ahead with points. There was no question that she was going to be in. She had no risk of not getting in. Stein with 31 and Lana with 29. So crazy, crazy year. What a throwdown at the end here. But awesome story for Lana. I am super happy to see Lana on that stage. I know this year she's trying to just get to the Olympia, and I think next year she's already talking about having a little bit of an off season and coming back and being super competitive at the Olympia next year. I think that getting in on points this year is great, and it's awesome, and we get to celebrate that because it shows what determination and hard work can do. But it's just really hard to make improvements throughout the year as a rookie year when you know you need to make improvements doing that many shows. So I think the reality is it's not going to be a top 10 placing or anything like that this year. But that girl has determination and drive, and I would be surprised if we didn't see her in the top 10 eventually. So really, really happy. It's really awesome to see a story like that where someone really went after it. So congratulations, Lana, and thank you for being an inspiration to everyone who wants to get there, who doesn't walk in that first pro season and just is genetically that girl who just wins it on her first try. There's a lot of pros I think look up to you for that, because most pros don't win a show their first few years. So I think it's awesome to show that you can go behind the scenes and and really show your story and do that and inspire a lot of other people. So I love that you got there. So anyway, congratulations to everyone who got the Olympia. It's a happy ending for once. Usually there's a lot of tears at the end of this, at this last cutoff. I've been there crying like a baby 3 times. So I've been 4th, I've been 5th in the points, or when it was top 5, I've been 6th, I've been 7th. So it's a hard day when this last show hits, but this time it was all happiness. So it's really great when that happens. So congrats everyone. I'll be doing some Olympia predictions coming up pretty soon. So stay tuned, like and subscribe. Why aren't you subscribing? It's offensive. All right. I'll talk to you later.